All right, I think it's recording now. So we're about to take off. There's about 8 or 9 Jeeps out. I'm the only Cherokee. Everybody's wrangled out, which is cool. I'm the lowest, so there's a water crossing that I might have to skip. So we'll see. All right, radio check worked out. We're going.
That the dog is actually not food, and their venom is for eating. And their venom is for capturing their animal and eating it. So they actually understand, except for young ones. A young venomous snake is more dangerous because it hasn't learned all those little tricks yet.
Oh yeah.
Not the last group that I brought out here, but the group before. There were some special requests for emergency room doctors and nurses. And some of these trails that we turn on, you can avoid the vegetation by moving one side to the trail to the other to avoid it. If you feel like it's too much vegetation, stop your vehicle, let me know, and I will clear it out. If I come across something that I think will actually leave a rub mark, I'll go ahead and stop and cut it before I cross through it. Or I may ask Kermit to stay where he's at and let me drive through, and then I'll cut it coming back to him.
10-4.
I did just come out here yesterday, and you will see a bunch of clippings. And I know that I'm the only one that's actually actively trimming trails out here. Oh, got another snake. He's a black racer, though. He's not going to let me get close.
True.
I know that I'm the only one actively trimming trails because anytime I see trimmings, I recognize them as that's where I trimmed last. It's really hard for me to do that by myself out here, so I do try to do the best I can. What we're driving up on right now is called Hopkins Prairie. Very beautiful place. By the way, if you have vehicle stability control or traction control, you want to turn that off right now. For those of you that don't understand that, traction control is a computer electronically controlled way of saying that if you lose control of your vehicle, it actually takes away your throttle control. So when your wheel spins in this soft sand, the vehicle thinks that you've lost control, so it takes power away from you. So you'll pat the gas, you won't go anywhere. While we're off-road, we don't need that, so we turn that off. It gives us more control over our vehicle. Springs, and you can't stay in your vehicle, and you can't stay in a camper. Your camping must be in either a tent or a hammock. But there's places you'll see right up here on the right-hand side on this little Hopkins Prairie where people just pull right over and set up tent and put a fire out.
Seeing here.
A group of wild turkeys on the left-hand side as you're driving through these pines. Hey, if you feel like this trail is too tight, make a right-hand turn right there, okay? You don't have to follow me through this. Make a right if you feel like it's too tight.
really good.
There's a bypass for that.
All right, flip my mirror closed. I'll have to determine if I want to flip my mirror back out or not.
Check out this pine tree on the right when you drive past. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's like a knob of some sort. All right, so we're on the southern part of the TreadLightly trail that's less scratchy, but I just decided yesterday, day before actually, that I was just gonna take the scratches and just take the rash, take the pinstripes, and sure enough, oh, I'm definitely striped.
Stay right there for me. I'm gonna pull forward and come back and cut a couple things.
All right, so I'm gonna sit still. Out cutting down some of the stuff that he thinks is gonna leave a more serious mark.
A whole bunch of picture plants I can show you if you ever come up to Ocala National Forest. I know acres of them. I take photographers up there all the time and take pictures of them. Well, I'm a photographer, so believe me, if I'm ever up that way, I'll definitely contact you. When I was a state park ranger at Hontoon Island State Park, they had it in our goals that we were to find the one picture plant that had been spotted on the island. I searched that island and could never find it. If you come up there in April to where we live, I'd be happy to take you on a trail ride, and I'll take you where you can walk out there and get thousands and thousands of pictures of acres of picture plants. Very cool. Hey, the vegetation that we're driving through right now is soft in vegetation, even though it touches your vehicle, it's just soft leaves. We have some wax myrtle up here also. Some of the really dark green that's a little taller. Not the oak, but the dark green that has some yellow tops to it. That is actually wax myrtle. The Native Americans used to collect all the little wax balls off of it, and they would boil that out and actually make candles.
Oh, wow.
And wow, we have tar flowers that still have bloom. Holy crap. On the right-hand side, you're going to see a real tall bush with white flowers on the very, very top. That's actually tar flower. That's a carnivorous plant. Mostly flies get stuck on the petals and on the stem, and the plant will absorb the nutrients from that insect into the plant. We just had a bear run right in front of us.
Wow.
Say it again? We
bear.
just had a bear run right in front of us on the back Jeep, Jeremy. Oh my God, did you get a video? Peyton was able to get a picture. Did it go right to left? It was from right to left. Wow, so we all passed it.
We were trying to get you guys to...
They were busy talking about flowers. Able to get a picture or no? Yeah, my daughter Peyton was able to snap a picture. That's awesome.
Ooh. Big snake. He just ran over it. Oh. And I'm gonna run him over too. Yeah, just ran over a snake. I didn't want to do it. Actually, he ran it over and I could not avoid it. Oh, nice. Let's see, how do you do that? Like this. Wheeling.
We do have a bird here in Central Florida that's only native to Central Florida, and that's it. It's called the Florida scrub jay. Anybody ever heard of it?
No.
No. It was going to be made the Florida state bird when they were trying to decide which bird. And because of the conservation efforts, they actually decided not to. Because it's the only bird in the state of Florida that actually has Florida in its name. The official name is a Florida scrub jay. They figured that since they didn't understand the conservation of it and there were so few of them, that they would actually protect it by not naming it the state bird, keeping it quiet or on the down low until they could actually do more research on how to protect the bird. But it only lives in scrub habitats. I made a left-hand turn. It only lives in scrub habitats, and it has to have white bare sand that they can actually bury acorns in. And unlike squirrels, they actually remember. The best time to go paddle that is during hunting season. Because if you go hiking in the Ocala Springs State Park, the deer know that it's hunting season, and all they have to do is cross over that spring run. The King's Landing is actually called Rock Springs Run. So all the deer do is cross over Rock Springs Run from the hunting side to the state park side. And I've got photos of 10 and 12 point buck following me on a trail because they're curious. Standing off to the side. I've so many photos of bucks walking around and not afraid of people because people hike there all the time. Looks like I have a tree down. I'm going to cut this, so I'll stop you for a moment. Code yellow. The left is a scrub habitat. So if you'll look out for a blue and gray bird, be a very bright blue the scrub habitat, there's a lot of cactus that grow out there, and it's big on gopher tortoises. And I know there's gopher tortoises up north where y'all live. But it's these areas that they really benefit from. And if you look at into your left, you'll actually see bare dirt up in the shrub, and that's what makes it so important for these scrub jays. And when it comes to desert, the scrub habitat is considered the Florida desert by the Florida biologists. Here's another cool factoid. You know how you have the continental divide, right, where everything, all the rivers flow to the Pacific from one side and they all go to the Atlantic on the other. Florida has a Florida divide right up the middle of the state, from the south all the way to the north. And the Ocala National Forest is right in that zone. So everything that flows on one side of the Ocala National Forest goes to the Atlantic, and the other side flows to the Gulf of Mexico. And the reason for that, and the reason for all of this white sand, this natural white sand, is because back in the day when global warming was at its height and all of the ice caps were melted, what we're driving through used to be the sand dunes from the ocean. There was just a narrow strip of Florida that was exposed.
Right.
And these are the ancient sand dunes from that time.
Nice.
Which is why we have rolling hills of white sand.
Awesome.
If you have a passenger, make sure that they're looking for deer and bear off to the left and right in these environments. We also have the Sherman's fox squirrel here also. And I have it in a folder that I keep in my Jeep. The reason I do that is on occasion you get an FWC officer that will tell you that you're on an illegal road, when in fact it's a multi-use road. And I've won a couple of times by saying, we're actually on a multi-use road, let me show you by pulling the map out. It's kind of cool driving through that little section back there. Old forest like this, it was probably managed by a different management association at one time. If you'll notice, the road that we're physically on right now is actually raised up. It's actually higher. And what they would have done, a sportsman's club or something would have dug into that hill so that they could use that dirt to raise this portion of the road up. Otherwise, we would have just driven over the top of that hill. But when they needed dirt to build the road up, that's how they would have done it. I apologize to those that this might be standard knowledge to some of you, but from experience, I know that not everybody knows those little things like that.
I am very much enjoying your tour, so continue to roll out the information.
10-4. Same here. Agree. that hump where the root is, just be aware it can jostle the Jeep from the side to side, and somebody can hit their head on the side window, so just be cautious. It'd be like Night at the Roxbury, you'll break a window. Here's some information on the pine beetle. Every once in a while out here you'll see a tree that's got white paint on it. At the base of that tree, about a 6 to an 8 inch perimeter around it, they've actually cleared it out. And they're watching and observing that tree because it probably had pine beetles in it. Most people don't know this, but all of these trees out here have pine beetles. And when the pine beetle, the larva is about the size of a grain of sand. A grain of rice. And what happens, the tree has this natural means of protecting itself. When the beetle burrows into the tree and lays an egg, the tree naturally uses its sap and expels the egg or the larva out of the tree by using sap.
Wow.
And so most of these trees are capable of getting rid of the egg and the larva by natural means. If the pine tree is weak, or it's sick, or it hasn't gotten enough water, or something else has caused it to weaken the health of the tree, it will still try to produce enough sap to push the egg or the larva out of the tree, but that sap is needed for the survival of the pine tree. So what will happen is it'll run out of sap and it won't be able to spare any more. And then when that larva hatches out, they start eating underneath the bark. And that's what starts